My name is Ellie Fawcett, and this is the story of how I became digitally literate. It starts with my cousin Mary. This is Mary. She and I have always had a lot in common. So my freshman year of high school, when she told me that I should watch this show called Doctor Who, I was like, sure, that doesn't sound like a bad idea. She seems to think it's cool. I'm sure I'll think it's cool. And I did. I was immediately obsessed with the show. I watched 4 seasons in like 2 weeks, couldn't stop talking about it, you know, the whole 9 yards of fangirl. So the next time I saw Mary, we had a lot to talk about, clearly, and she started telling me about all this cool hooligan, Whovian stuff that she had found online. Most importantly for this tale, she told me about a band, and the band was called Chameleon Circuit. This is Chameleon Circuit. Circuit is a special band in that it's a bunch of nerds that got together and decided that they were going to write songs about Doctor Who. So I was like super into them, and I watched every piece of footage of them playing and every fan video that featured them that I could possibly get my hands on. It was a little bit crazy. Anyway, in this saga of watching everything that Chameleon Circuit had ever possibly done, I stumbled across the YouTube channel of one of the members of the band. This one. His name is Liam Dryden, and he is super great. I don't know, I thought he was the funniest thing on 2 legs. I watched everything that he had ever posted in like 3 days, which was a little bit weird considering it was just this random Scottish guy talking to himself in his dorm room. I have an especially vivid memory of laughing my butt off at like 3 o'clock in the morning while watching this. When I started watching Liam Dryden, I noticed that he would talk about other YouTubers in his video, and that was how I found out that the other members of the band all had channels too, and that's how I started watching this guy. That guy is Charlie Is So Cool Like, who is another YouTuber from the UK and who I also got really into, and I watched all of his videos too. Between the two of them and like talking about the YouTubers that they knew and they were friends with and who were making cool stuff and the videos that YouTube was suggesting that I watch based on them, I ended up watching lots of people like Kick the PJ and Dan and Phil. But most importantly, these guys. Those are the Vlogbrothers, and if you don't know about the Vlogbrothers, you probably should. They have a huge community that sprung up around their videos called the Nerdfighters. The Nerdfighters do all kinds of cool stuff. One really big thing that they do is organize Project for Awesome every year, which is basically a bunch of people uploading YouTube videos about charities that they think are important or that they think people should support, and then the videos get upvoted and people donate money to them, and it's a really cool project where people raise money for charity, and like, it just seemed like a community that I really wanted to be a part of. The community was located primarily online though, and so that was a bit of a problem for me because I only had a Facebook and I used it really badly. It sort of forced me to get involved in Twitter and Tumblr, and that's how I started learning. My first tweet was actually directed at Charlie Is So Cool Like, with, I think it was he had asked people for suggestions for a Challenge Charlie video, and I was suggesting something. Trying to become a part of the Nerdfighter community sort of had forced me onto some websites that I had never even thought about trying before, and I just started sort of messing around, learning how they worked, and then once I got comfortable with them, learning how to use other websites wasn't as hard because I already sort of understood how the web worked, and a lot of websites all kind of had the same structure. So once you figure out one, you can sort of guess your way through the others. I was more confident. I knew that I knew how to do at least 2 of them, so surely I could do the rest. So basically, just by screwing around, like, I figured out how to use the internet, and I ended up on a bunch of different websites, and I could figure out how to use them, and it wasn't hard anymore like it had been. And I ended up being pretty good, I think, at understanding what the internet is and how it works, and that's how I got to where I am today. So yeah, I guess the moral of this story is that through goofing off and being a giant nerd, you too could become digitally literate.